Hello and welcome to today's episode of Beyond the Pedal. Today it's the question, are car prices in the UK starting to come down? Is the bubble finally bursting, especially in the sort of used sports and performance section? The cars that are sitting between 13 to 20 grand. With the recent sort of the ridiculous surge in the cost of living, the absurd fuel prices, even though there's been a 7.3 billion profit announcement, but hey, what do I know? All we're saying is, has this now forced people's hands, those who had the money during the COVID sort of lockdown era, that had that bit of spare cash to buy a car they really liked, have now been kind of forced to sell it because of this, cost of living. So today we're gonna have a little look at, the go-to sort of place, and if like me, you spend a lot of time on AutoTrader, gonna have a look at a few cars that I've been keeping an eye on, and I've seen a little bit of a dip, if you will, but also answering the question that there's some cars where people are now having to rely on more economically efficient cars. Are they holding their value well? So let's have a little look at that and answer today's question. And remember, today this is just the world according to Dan. This isn't like gospel. Remember, I'm not a reporter, I'm not a journalist or anything like that. I'm literally going off what I'm seeing, what other sort of companies are saying as well. Sort of like, what we've got here, Car Dealer Magazine, car experts are saying there's a 2.1% or between a 1.1 and 2.1% drop in used car prices, which might not seem a lot, but actually it's quite nice to kind of know. Anyway, let's head over to our good friend AutoTrader and have a little look at some of the cars I have been having a look at. Okay, so as you can see, screen's up and running. I've got a Jaguar XE S. It's the Jaguar XE S, the V6 sort of like performance saloon, if you will, the go-to, which I think is a fantastic car. It looks amazing. I've been keeping an eye on these for quite some time. So let's have a look at, we'll go from low to high. That's always the better option. Lowest to high. Now, a couple of months ago, or during the lockdown era, these were down at around about, you could probably pick one up at about 15, 16, 17 grand for good, obviously, and going up and up and up. Then, during the kind of spike of the high increase of car amounts, these went to, you couldn't pick up one for less than £20,000. You just could not, and I've been looking. Now, okay, slightly higher mileage, of course. Here, 17 grand for this example. Again, 17.2 for a 57,000 example. Yes, they are high mileage, but they're now right under that 20k mark, which is kind of great to see. So, right, we've got to look at, if we're looking at sports and performance, we've really got to look at the Porsche Cayman S 987 S, either manual or automatic. So again, during lockdown, these really went down in price, and you could pick them up, they were decent enough price-wise. They were down at 14, 15, 16 grand. Obviously, with the spike that happened, everyone's after a Cayman. It is the go-to sports car. That sort of mid-range, entry-level sort of sports car. And again, they did just skyrocket 17, 18, even for the Gen 1s. They really did skyrocket. And again, this is the world according to Dan. This isn't, I get it. But here we are, we've got them at like 14 and a half. Yes, they are higher example mileages. But we go down here, we've got one here for 77,000, 69,000, Gen 1s, manuals as well. Look like they're in really good condition. And just under 16, 57. 57,000. I'm sure there's more to in that, but nevertheless, a Cayman they've definitely come down in price. With the hike in how much they cost for taxing, and how much they're going to cost to run. I'm not saying they're a steal, but they are slowly starting to come down.
Right,
finally, and again, this is very, very niche, I know, but one that I have been keeping my eye on quite considerably is the Mini Challenge 210. A Mini that probably many people have never heard of, but it's a very specific car that I've been looking at. But again, these were sitting, you know, in during the lockdown period. Again, they were down here. They were down about 14, 15,000. Then months ago, I could not find one for less than 17, 18 grand, like any of them. And now we're starting to see them back down to 14 and a half. 14 and a half, yeah, granted Cat D, 15, 15 and a half, and then just under 17 for a low mileage option. But again, you know, the Mini Challenge 210 is really one I've been keeping on, really like. But again, starting to see that sort of, you know, decline in price by a couple of percent, which is again great to see. Woo. Okay, so there we are, the world according to Dan, if you will. Yeah, sports and performance, it does feel like cars within that sort of like 12 to 20,000 pound performance range are slowly coming down. The car market, in especially the sports and performance section, does feel like it is slowly creeping down, especially with the cost of living going up, and the fact that fuel is still at a ridiculous rate, even though I'm not going to get into that. But anyway, if you've noticed anything like a reduced fall, you're in the motor trade, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please leave a comment below, educate me. You know, I really would love to, you know, have that conversation of what's really going on. So if you're watching this and you have some answers, please share it with everybody else. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this little mini episode. Catch you on the next one. Play the outro.